Just when I thought I was done getting rare stuff for you guys, well, it hits back and here I am again making another video. Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, I guess. We now have a bunch of tapes, so I'm ready to show you some really cool stuff. To be honest, I would probably think this would be the best video of the year, VHS wise, but we never know what's gonna come in the future or not. But I mean, this is the big one, okay? I would say maybe this is the mother lode. I don't have like an insane amount of tapes. I mean, by that, I mean 20, 25, which is quite good. It's a very good number. But the titles are so good. It's beyond my wildest dream, let's say. I've seen someone else getting really good stuff last year, so I guess it's just cool that, I do get my fair share of good tapes as well, and not just one or two, but quite a couple. And by that also, the great thing is many of those tapes I'm going to show you, which are right there, many you probably never seen them before. You may have seen them on a website, advertised somewhere on a Korean site, but to see them in the flesh, that I'm gonna show them to you very well, the front, back, the cassette, everything. I mean, you've never seen them before. So let's not wait any longer, and I'm gonna start with some light, no heavyweight, but some light stuff. By the way, some were actual, how should I say, requests, so they won't go for sale. And I'm gonna tell you which ones so that it doesn't create any confusion, or somebody asked me for something and really like, oh my god, I thought I was the first one to ask you, but it's sold out. All right, so I'm gonna tell you in advance. So the first one here, it was a special request, so it's called State of Play. So I got this one online. It was not like, by the way, none of the tapes I'm going to show you today came from an actual store in Seoul, like in the good old days, okay? I would say, I mean, I'm tempted to say those good old days are over. It's not totally true. You may find some surprises in Seoul if you shop around. I mean, let's say for the late releases, even for the old stuff, I mean, it's getting down to the last bits of tapes in Seoul. I mean, you can still find some. Will they be in good shape? Most likely not. Will they be like interesting titles? Most likely not, and so on. So, but if you do want to find, like, let's say for me, like the late releases lately, this stuff is. I mean, the good ones, the good titles, you won't find them. You need to search online. You need to know some collectors. You need to look around way more than just go to Seoul to your typical shops. So that said, anyway, let's go back to this. So State of Play. It looks in great shape, to be honest. I mean, it could have been a bit better, but I mean, it's fine. The good thing though, it doesn't have any sun fade, or barely any sun fade on the spine. Again, if you compare the colors, you see red is almost the same red. So it does have like maybe a 5-10% sun fade max. It did get some, I think, some water damage, maybe. I mean, this is normal. Sometimes you have like the discoloration, which is weird like that, where you see it had like a bit of water damage at the top, but overall it's a very good looking tape. Again, this is to be expected with many tapes, not just late releases, but all tapes in Korea. The mold, the water damage, the stains, all this stuff. But as long as the overall condition of, the sleeve looks good, to me, I mean, it's cool, it's great. And it will be good looking on a shelf in a collection. That's the most important thing. So this is State of Play. Let me just show you the cover. I never spend too much time, showing you the cover unless it's like one of a kind tape. But I mean, I never showed you this one before, I think. So might as well just take the time and just show you a bit more in detail about this cool tape. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I had this in the past. I do remember seeing this on a shelf sometime back in the days, but I don't remember if I ever bought it. But yeah, this one I had to hunt it down because not something I would find in Seoul. So there you go, State of Play. Oh, and by the way, this was a, I think 2000, does it look like, yeah, it's 2009. So yeah, 2009 tape. Okay, next we continue with the special request. So I've been asked for this one and I managed to find it again with the same seller that had the other tape, thankfully. And this one is actually in excellent shape. The clamshell looks like, it's a little bit, a bit rough, more or less. But the sleeve itself is very beautiful. So the movie is Borat, of course. And yeah, the back, the spine, no sun fade. I mean, for this one, you cannot find a better copy than this. This is pretty much top condition you would expect of a videotape of that time, and that you wish to find in Seoul or in shops. And yeah, let me show you. See, the tape is perfectly mint, beautiful copy. Once again, yeah. So this is Borat. Here you go. This isn't it like 2006? I think the movie came out in 2006, but the cassette is 2007. So yeah. All right. Wait. Do I have another? Oh yeah, this one. This one I had it. No, I never had this one in the past. I only had half a copy, and I bought it because that one I found in a shop. So it didn't cost me an arm and a leg, of course. So I grabbed it. I'm like, well, if I ever find the second half, which I never did, but whatever. So anyway, someone asked me for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which is a David Fincher film, which, by the way, I've never seen. And I've heard good things, but I don't know, it seems long. Well, it's on 2 tapes, so it must be long. But the Fincher movies are usually a bit longer than your average movies, so... but I never watched this one. Apparently it's very good. Maybe I should download this and watch it sometime soon. So yeah. So the fun thing about this one is it's on 2 tape. Although the not so fun thing is, because it's on 2 tapes, you have the part 1, part 2 on the spine right here. But it doesn't have like a different picture on the spine to differentiate the tapes like you may have like in some releases of other movies, or even 2 different covers. So it's basically the same cover with part 1, part 2 done. So yes, I'm not going to show you the back of the other ones because it doesn't matter. All right, so this one is 2009, I think. Yeah, I think it's 2009. Let's see. Is it focus? Yeah, 2009 June. So June 2009 for this tape. And again, it's in top shape. So great find. A bit of sun fade on the spine. You can tell with the Warner Brothers logo because it has more orange in here, but the blue is great. See the orange right here. But the copy is in beautiful condition. And by the way, there's no... yeah, there's a little bit of a stain here. Yeah, you can see. Again, it's something I can't escape with, it seems, with any damn tapes I'm buying, or almost any tapes. This one does as well, but there's no wrinkle. So thankfully, like, it might have been a one-off, and yeah. All right. Let's move on. All right. So another one that is a special request. This one is The Fountain. That was a Darren Aronofsky film, the guy who made The Black Swan, which, by the way, I'm surprised it never got a release in South Korea because that's 2010. It would have been like a super late release, like an October, November release, but I think they never made it. It never made it on to VHS, only DVD. So this one made it to VHS. By the way, another movie I've never seen. Apparently it's very good. So this one is 2007, and the cassette came out 2007 in May. So you can see, I had it in the past once only. So this is the second copy I've ever found. And it's actually beautiful. This one, to be fair, this one is in very good condition. I do not think there's any stain or whatnot. See, this is perfect. And again, those tapes like that are kind of really hard to find. I mean, no water damage, no stain, no wrinkles, nothing. And on top of that, have no sun fade. I mean, like, you're jackpot right here. And the casing is not cracked or anything. I mean, wow, one of a kind. All right. Next, what do I have? I'm gonna do some mixed in here, right? Let's go with a heavy hitter. Okay, this one, I think there's quite some demand for it, and it's been a while since the last copy that popped up on eBay sold out. So this one is gonna go up for sale, and it's Speed Racer. It usually went for, I think the last copy that sold on eBay went up for $165. I could be wrong, but in that ballpark, it was over $150. I remember I sold my copy I had like maybe 3 years ago for like 50. So it went up. So this is a title that went up in demand and obviously in price. And this one, what's super amazing about this copy is that it is sealed. So you see the label for Warner Brothers, you know, how do you call that? The watermark on the plastic. See, if I put the reflection, so this is original, there's no like bootleg bullshit in here. This is how they would seal the cassettes in Korea. See, this is an original seal. I'll show you on the spine here. So yeah, this is not a hole, by the way. And it is in absolute beautiful shape. I think there's only a little thing here. Let me just zoom in, see. But I mean, this is nothing, okay? I've seen worse. And to find this, okay, and by the way, no sun fade as well, because you can have a seal tape with some sun fade. I do have one in stock of another movie, but it's a bit of a shitty movie, so it doesn't really matter, but it does have some sun fade on the spine. But to have this, which is a tape that is in high demand, sealed, it's beyond, I mean, I don't have any words. It's beyond rare, really. I've never seen this ever. So this might be the only copy available ever around. So yeah. And by the way, this is going to be for sale because no one reserved that. I mean, I posted it before just for shows, but it is for sale. It's going to be for sale. And if no one wants it, it's going to go on eBay as usual. Next, this was something that 2 people asked me for. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to grab it. I didn't know about the condition before I bought it, so it was a blind buy, and that's what's happening with the blind buys online in Korea. Is, you know, like some sellers, they don't even provide pictures, or they just have the pictures of the front, not the side, not the back, not the cassette. I mean, it's a bit of a anyway. I should make a video just about that. So yeah, this one I had no information about it, so I went on and I'm like, okay, let's do it, let's buy it, because again, like I said, I know it's a tape in demand, so it doesn't bother me too much to pay a bit more, because I know at the end it will probably sell. So yeah, The Mist, very cool movie. I love this film, it's great, and the spine and everything, it's in gorgeous condition. If it does have any sun, I was discussing this with someone who was interested, and he thought like there was some sun fade. I mean, he's not wrong, because I do believe that it might be, you know, if you look at the yellow, that's always the giveaway. It may have like 5% sun fade, but it's in very good shape. I mean, if you look at just the sleeve itself, it's in great condition. The only minor defect, whatever, would be like this little thing here in the sleeve, but otherwise it is very good looking. Let me just make it focus. See at the top, the spine here, everything is great looking. Such a cool film. Yeah, all right. And if we do look at the cassette, this is the only thing. That's why the person that wanted this one only wants mint tapes, which are actually cool. Anyway, you've seen me with what I've showed you in the past, right? The mint tapes are really hard to find. So anyway, this one, see, no water damage or anything as well. So it's in very good shape. By the way, it's the wrong casing. It's Warner Brothers. Should be Planis or just a blank, like no-name clamshell. I may change that, by the way. If we look at the cassette, I think this was a swap. I need to verify the playback, although the person who checked it said playback is fine. So, and usually he's right. Everything is always okay. Although I suspect this was a casing change because it does say Universal right here, and it's not a Universal movie, I think. This would be okay, but not the casing. Also, this may explain why this part here is so beat up. What I think is what happened is the person changed the reel, put it in a new casing, because those casing sometimes are the cassettes, I mean, are flimsy, and they can, like, let's say you drop it, it will just, you know, shatter. So I think that's what might have happened with this tape. So the guy maybe peeled off the sticker here, put it back on a new one, and tried it here, but absolutely failed. So yeah, that's why we got like a universal cassette. But I'm gonna check out the playback and make sure it is the original reel inside. It's like no tape over or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's the original, because that's something that happened. Even myself, I would change a cassette casing. Like, it happened to me before. Although I take, you know, I pay attention to the brand and I try to match the right brand. Yeah, all right, so this is it, because yeah, tape looks okay. I mean, all right. So the mist, this one is not reserved or anything, so this will go for sale if it interests you. Again, after I check it out and I make sure it's the original and it's great and plays back. Playback is good. I'll have a price and everything if you want to buy it. All right, next, this is by the way, this is reserved because I put it on Facebook maybe a week ago, and someone showed some interest, so it's already reserved. I'm sorry if this is something that interests you. The only downside with this one, as you see, there's no sun fade whatsoever. This is a beautiful sleeve color-wise, but it did suffer some water damage. Again, you know, it's always the same damn thing. So yeah, here you see there's some stain, which sucked, but I did my best to clean it up because it was quite bad. But I cleaned it up really well with even some alcohol and everything, to remove any stains or anything. So now it does look fine, to be fair. I mean, again, it depends on the reflection, right? If you look at it like this, it's really bad. If you look at it like this, you wouldn't tell. And again, on a shelf, if it's sitting like this, there's no wrinkle on the spine. It's always here or on the back, so no one would tell. So yeah. So by the way, the movie is Salt, in case you haven't noticed. And what's special about this one also, that's why I picked it up, is we're looking at something really late here, guys. This is November 2010. So this might have been among, let's say, the last 10 videotapes from like American movies ever released on VHS officially back in the days. So this is very rare. And again, this is why I picked it up. So again, sometimes you may come across some like less appealing copies like this, but if it's super late, it's 2010. I mean, you know what? If the tape plays well and everything, go for it, buy it, because chances you find it again are getting lower and lower and lower and lower as we go. So there you go, Salt 2010 tape. All right, I went for other 2010 tapes. The next one I have from this one is 2009. I've never seen this tape just because the cover looks a little bit generic to me, and it's a movie I've never seen, but it's called Duplicity. Maybe you're familiar with this film. It's a Universal. The cassette, the sleeve is in top shape for once. You know, no water damage, nothing. And also the spine, let me focus. See, the colors are bright. There's no sun fade, it's gorgeous. So these are the type of tapes I like to find. They're still around, you can still find them, but it's getting harder and harder. And again, you know, it may not be the exact title you want. It may be something a bit more like second tier, whatever. So yeah, Duplicity, maybe you've seen it. Is it a good film? I don't know. It looks interesting. And how about the date, right? We want to see the date, the release. Okay, there we go. We have July 2009. So this is also, it's getting up there. So that's why I picked it up. This time we have a 2010 release, the movie Chloe, with the guy from Taken. Oh my God, I have a blank. Tell me in the comment section his name. I totally forgot. He's in so many movies. Julian Moore. So yeah, there you go. Chloe. I've never came across this tape before. I guess the reason is it's really late. Let me just zoom in again on the date. So here we have April 2010 and end of April. So April 30th. 2010. So this is very late as well. Not something you will find very easily, of course. So you see it here. You may never see it again. Who knows? But this is a rare one. Chloe. And again, on the Planis label, this is really cool. Planis. And there's barely any sun fade, really. I mean, it might be a bit, I would say maybe 5%. The red seems slightly off, but I mean, it's a beautiful copy nonetheless. So there you go. Okay. Okay, next. By the way, I have some animation to show you. So if you guys are into the animation, I know some of you on the channel really love this stuff. I do have a bunch for you, but I'm just want to finish the rest before I put the animation on the spotlight. So the last 2000, no, it's not the last, but almost the last 2000 tape I have for you. This is another rare one. It's the Descent 2. Remember I showed you Descent, the first one, before, but Descent 2, I think it was almost a straight to video or something that maybe it was in the movie theater, but for a very, very short time. I remember watching this film because I really loved the original Descent film, and I thought it was serviceable, you know, like it wasn't groundbreaking or anything, but it wasn't abysmal like some of those like straight to videos you would see usually. I thought it was very fun. I mean, it was a good watch. So to have the VHS, this is very rare. And I remember back in the day, I would say we're talking about like over 10 years ago, my friend with whom I would hunt for tapes at the time. And by the way, at the time I wasn't into late releases because we would be talking about like this would have been like 4 years old at the time that I saw this. And my friend bought it saying like, oh, this is a late release 2010. And I'm like, who cares? And I kind of, now I'm like, well, he was right. So anyway, it took me forever. I did find a copy of this, really happy. Again, like I said, it's nothing amazing of a title, like, oh my God, it's not Avatar or something. But it's really late and it's very rare. Again, almost no sun fade on the spine, although this one was a bit beat up. And what I suspect is that the person who had this maybe stored the cassettes in one place and stored the sleeve in another place, because the sleeve got like bended, like it got bent here. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can show you well enough with the reflection because it's in a casing, so it doesn't show too much. But this was like folded here. There was like it was a fold here. I tried to put it back straight. Of course, in the casing doesn't show too much. And here as well, see, there's kind of a line here. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe it shows a bit more. See, there you can see a little bit more. So yeah, this was not in great shape, but again, I clean everything up as I always do, and now this is perfectly collectible. Look at this, look at the back cover. This is so cool. If you're a fan of horror films, I mean, you have to get this, right? And of course, if you're a fan of late releases, that goes without saying. So let's go with the date. All right, well, here we go. We have 2010, and this is October 7th, 2010. So this is again very, very late in the VHS cycle. All right, so The Descent 2, 2010, late, very late 2010. Okay, next I have a bomb. I could show you that last, but I mean, it's not a tape. It's a tape I showed you in the past, like let's say 5 years ago. So might as well show it to you now. Well, it's Avatar. And if you know the story with this tape, again, it used to be quite common back then. For a 2010 tape, it was quite common. Me and my friend, we bought a bunch of copies. I sold a bunch of copies back before COVID. So before 2019, I sold, I would say, maybe 3 copies to some people in the world, and they were about $50 each. But this is a tape, I don't know why. Well, I know why, because it's a famous film. It's James Cameron, it's Avatar, the sequel came out, and so on. But it's a movie. It blows my mind how the value and the demand for this tape blew the roof. I mean, it went crazy. Like I said, it went from $50. I sold a copy, which was my friend's copy, for about $2,300 US. But it was near mint. Then, not to mention him, but Korea Disco, who's also someone in Korea selling VHS tapes, had a copy for sale about a month ago, or maybe less than a month ago, and sold it for, I think it was over $1,200. Let's say $1,200, maybe $1,250, somewhere around that on eBay. So actually, you can probably check on eBay right now if you want to double check what I'm saying is true. But yeah, but this copy had some issues. I think not the playback, but at the beginning something was recorded over, or I could be wrong, but there's something along those lines. You can check. So anyway, a defective, so to speak, or like not a perfect copy, sold for $1,250. This copy right here is, I would say, by the look of it, right, it's absolutely near mint, because there's no sun fade, nothing. Beautiful. And on top of that, I'm so happy it came inside the beautiful white opaque clamshells, and those are super hard to find. And again, if you happen to have one, chances are, it's going to be cracked here, it's going to be chipped, something. Those are perfect condition. The cassettes themselves, I didn't check them out, but I think there's something, maybe a tiny bit of mold, but I can clean that. This is nothing. They're pretty much near mint. Okay, the cassettes are near mint. Everything is beautiful. The only thing is maybe the sleeves. As you can see, there's a stain right here. So this one has a stain, and you can see a bit of wrinkles. So it suffered some water issues, water damage. This one, I think, as well, or maybe not that one, but yeah, this one, yeah, you can see there's no wrinkles and anything. So it's only this one, but it's very close to near mint. By the way, the copy that went for over $2,000 that sold a couple months ago, that one was I would say better than this one. So the person who bought that copy got the best one around. I would say this one is very close, but with the stain, it would probably lower the value. So no, this wouldn't go for $2,300. Although again, we'll see. I don't know how much I'm gonna ask for this one, but it blew me away when I found it. Again, 5 years ago, it would have been like, Avatar, yeah, all right, why not? But now I'm like totally mind blown to find this. All right. Well, now you're probably thinking, well, those tapes have been amazing so far. I hope you learned some stuff and that you're actually very interested in those tapes and you think those were super rare, whatever. But wait until I show you the last ones I have. So I said I have some animation to show you. So I'm gonna go with this now. So first one is something I showed you in the past is Kung Fu Panda. By the way, it's been a long time since I picked up a copy of Kung Fu Panda. And by that I mean either in English or in Korean. The Kung Fu Pandas are simply very hard to find now for some reason. I don't know. But this is an English copy, all right? It is not a Korean dub. It is the original English copy with Korean subtitles. As you can see, be careful, do not be confused. Here, if the little oval is in green, this is the English speaking version. There's somebody on eBay selling one, I think it's the blue or the red thing, and it's a Korean dub, but it's advertised as an English copy. And I think he's asking $300 for it, which is way too much for a dub copy. However, a subtitled copy, I mean an original English copy with Korean subtitles, does go for about $3 to $350-ish, depending again on the copy condition. This one is near mint, as you can see. If I can just make see green, the yellow is perfect. So this is a perfect no sun fade copy of Kung Fu Panda. I just need to clean it up again. It may have minor mold, but this will be cleaned up and it will look like new. This is actually nothing. Yeah. And also I may have to change the clamshell, make a matching one, but that's it. Yeah, it's beautiful copy. This will go for sale. No one reserved it yet, but this is super rare. English copy of Kung Fu Panda. You don't see that every day. If we continue with the English copies of animation films, well, turns out I got B-Movie. I never bought this before, simply because I never found it, and everywhere I looked online, they were all sold out. Someone else took them before me. So yeah, and if you notice, see, we have, let me just focus again, English copy. This is the dub version. So I have one of each. Well, I'll put this one away. This one is already reserved. Actually, it was a special request from someone. I think it's been over a year and a half that the person asked me for this. I finally found one, so this is going to be to go to that person. So yeah, this is very rare now. It does have some sun fade. As you can see, the yellow is not as bright as it should be, but everything else, I mean, is on this sleeve. Everything is okay. There's no like too much water. I mean, there's a bit of water damage, not too much, but this is again to be expected. But the colors are fine. You know, there's no tear or anything in the sleeve. The clamshell is beautiful. The cassette as well. The tape is beautiful. So yeah, there you go. So B-Movie. Okay. All right. Next, have this. This is a bit minor movie. I mean, it's Hoodwinked. I did find it in the past once again, but every time I picked it up somewhere in a shop, the damn tape was always too moldy to buy, so I left it there. Or the sleeve was totally trash. There was always an issue with this movie anyway. So this one, it was just like a easy pickup. Again, it's not the most beautiful copy in the world. It does have some sun fade. It's the Korean dub, so it's worth less in my head. I mean, in my book. But it's nonetheless, it's a fun little movie. I mean, if you're into the animation stuff and you want to get the animations that never got a US release, I mean, this should be on your radar. So yeah, there you go. Hoodwink. Korean dub. I don't think this will go for too much money, but it's not going to be $50, but it's going to be a bit over that because those are a bit in demand. But yeah. Okay, now we have we're down to 3 movies. So I hope you got your coffee ready and everything, and be ready to be wowed. But let's go with the first one, which is something I showed you before, but it's really rare to get these days, because this is the last animation ever released on VHS tape. And we're talking about Cloudy with Chances of Meatballs. think it's the first time I got this title right. So yeah, this one is quite hard to get. I mean, I think this is my third copy ever. So yeah. And also I'm super happy because it comes in its, again, like opaque white clamshell, just like the Avatar. So this is also super hard to get in its original clamshell. I'm really happy. The only tiny downside, it got like a chip corner, like little piece that broke. I mean, I didn't break it, it was already like that. But I mean, it's whatever. That's to me that's minor. I mean, like, you don't have a crack or anything, nothing missing. The cassette is beautiful. And also, see, the sleeve is great as well. I mean, it does have like a bit of wrinkle, but that's humidity. It's not like water damage per se. So yeah, that's super cool. I mean, if you've never seen this copy before, I never showed it in detail. So here you go. We have the hologram to show that it's an original one. See, 2010. And I believe also, because this one never came out in English, so it's only a dub. There's no English version of this. So here you go. So cloudy with chances of meatballs. 2010. And we're talking about, I think it's May. Yeah, here we go. May 2010 release. That would make it the last animation ever released on tape. Speaking of last animation, this was the last animation. But what about the last anime? So this is the very last, again, unless I found something else, but I do believe this is the very last anime to come out on VHS. Of course, we're talking about Japanese anime. So there's nothing else after that I'm aware of. So some people may say, and I noticed on Reddit, there's a message about this saying like the Japanese, because they only showcase the Japanese release, not the Korean one. But the Japanese release, the cool thing that to notice about this is if you look on the back, well, let me focus. See, it says 2009 and it's August 10. And the Japanese release was a month before that. So it's 2009. Oh no, sorry. I think it's even earlier than that. It's June. So it's June 2009. So I think it's the 4th of June 2009 to be exact. So it would make, actually, technically speaking, it would make the Korean release the very last anime in the world, like being released on tape. Not even the Japanese one, even though it's a Japanese film, I get it. But yeah, and the film, of course, is in Japanese. It has Korean subtitles, so again, not the best option for English speakers. Also, the fun thing here, we have a 16:9 widescreen. What else is great about this film? I mean, this VHS is, if you look on the spine, they even have like a very unique little logo. So this is the day one, because it's a day one release VHS, even though it's the Ghibli studio, whatever, however you call it. So you see it's in Hangul, it's not in Japanese. So it's, sorry, I didn't mention the movie, but it's Ponyo on the Cliff. So Ponyo on the cliff, Ponyo on the cliff. So yeah, oh, there you go, Daewon. Daewon is the company that released it in Korea. So this is the original clamshell. Beautiful, everything is near mint with this. Same goes with the cassette. Look at this, it's gorgeous. No sun fade whatsoever. Amazing. I was really happy about this one, by the way. I saw it in the past, just I left it there. I don't know why. I saw it in the shop, and the shop that had it, I went back and it was gone. So it turns out that I bought this from some seller online. Anyway, long story. So anyway, we're down to our last tape because it's been long enough. I'm sorry, 40 minutes, way too long for a video. But we have the rarest tape of the batch, I think. Well, you'll probably be saying like, well, you showed us like Avatar, what can be more rare than that? Be careful, Avatar is not like an insanely rare tape. It is now, but there's a few copies around, all right? It's just because the demand is through the roof with that tape. Doesn't mean it's the rarest tape. The next one I'm going to show you is insanely rare, simply because beside my friend who picked a copy back in 2009 or 10, I do not know anyone else who has a copy of this anywhere. So we're talking about Watchmen. So Watchmen came out on 2 cassettes. Right here, I think, you know, I thought it was cool because it had like 2 different colors, maybe for part 1, part 2, but I do think it's sun fade on 1, sadly. Hard to tell because it's black and white, right? I mean, yellow and black. So there's no other cues on the spine to kind of tell. Actually, there is, but you know, it's like right here. See, the red is almost the same, the blue is the same. It really is just that yellow. So I suspect the yellow just faded away, and that would be an actual like mint yellow spine for this. So I think the yellow would have been the same. You could say, oh, it's super sun faded, but you have to think that the yellow is always the one that would fade like super crazy easily. And even red would stick around more, and blue and green and so on. So yeah, so that said, yeah, the tape, it has the same thing. It has that CJ punctured here because it's an original. Sometimes they have the hologram, so it does have the hologram on this one. And it does have the punch hole right here. So, and it's not on the second tape. It's usually just on, you always do that on 1 tape. Yeah. So this is what it looks like on the back. So you see CJ. So I guess they're saying like from the director of 300, here comes some wonderful movie. Yeah, so there you go. This is finally, I've been looking for this for so long, by the way, you have no idea. And no one had it until I just recently find it. So let's go with the date. So where's the date? Today's right here. So this is late 2009. So we're talking about August 2009 release on VHS. So see, it's not even 2010, yet this one is as rare as any 2010 tape. And what adds up to the rarity as well is the fact that it's on 2 cassettes. You know, like, again, like the example I told you just before with the Benjamin button, I found 1 cassette, but it's just part 1 out of 2. I picked it up because it's rare, but see, I just have 1 part. I'm still looking for the other part. So, you know, it would be a case like this. You may find the cassette in the wild, but then, oh, you're missing another part. But this is a complete copy of Watchmen. So this is absolutely amazing. By the way, this one is not reserved. No one asked me for this. Why? Because it's the first time I talk about it. It's in this video. So this is the very first time you see this tape. It's right now. It's going to be for sale, of course. So I'm just going to gather what I have. So you have a quick look again at what we looked through today. So again, it won't fit all in. Oh yeah, I have to put this little avatar here, right? And why not the B movies? Yeah, that's gonna be used for my my thumbnail, I guess. Yeah, I never know what to put for thumbnails, guys. I mean, you may think I'm very boring with that, but yeah, I'm out of ideas, and I don't want to give away too much what the videotape is. The video is gonna be about. So yeah. So there we go. This is everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, please do not be shy. Write down in the comments down below. And once again, if you happen to have some special requests, something you would like to see, or perhaps something you would like to purchase, well, you can send me a message and I will look for it for you. We just need to settle, on a price because it takes time to find these tapes. It takes time to clean them up, to make them look nice and shiny and everything. And that's not something you will get from like other sellers. I'm saying like sellers in Korea. I'm not talking about Korea Disco. He's doing an amazing job. I would gladly support him, and you should buy from him anytime. He's very trusty seller. But other sellers that you may see on eBay, especially on eBay, because this is where those tapes will, pop up. Yes, I mean, some sellers are a bit shady with the prices. They would pick up something super random and they'll just put it for like $250. You're like, come on, man. but we know what we're talking about here. These are really rare tapes. I mean, not 100% all of them, but some are insanely rare. And they are really well worth their price. So there we go, guys. Thank you again. It's been a very long video. I don't have anything else to say. So see you again on the next one. Cheers.